Well, good morning, everyone at Unity of London. Howdy doody from Unity, Saskatchewan to 501 Nelson Street in London, Ontario. We're so glad that you're able to join us, and I'm so glad I'm able to join you. It's great to see everybody, although on my phone right now, I only see myself. So let's get started. Let me see if I can see how I can see the slides while I'm talking here. There we go. Okay, so welcome to Unity of London, and I apologize. I am trying to see how I can see the screen. No, that's not working. There we go. Welcome. How'd I get that? Welcome to Unity of London, and we're grateful that you've joined us. And often, to many of us, it feels like we are welcoming ourselves home, or welcome you to your new home if you're new to Unity. Every Sunday, as we gather with our community, it is like gathering at home, and makes everyone feel wonderful. And so, April's power is love. Love is represented by the color of pink, located in your heart center. Surprise on all that. And love is where it's at. Everything is based in love. And with love, all things are possible. And so I already started this talking about welcome home. And I'm going to enlarge my screen here. Oh, that doesn't work. Sorry. So welcome home. We celebrate our abundance. We are open to new ideas, and we provide each other with mutual support. And by connecting and sharing the things that we learn through a week or how our week goes, we find that we have transformation and growing in our spiritual understanding and evolving peace within ourselves. And it's all starts with us. As we experience peace, we can share that peace through the world. And Unity has 5 basic principles, and I invite you to join me in affirming these principles. Principle number 1 is that God is, and God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. Principle number 2, I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. And number 3, I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. And number 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. And number 5, I do and give my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference. Each and every one of us makes a difference each and every day. And how do we do this? Well, we inspire people to make a positive difference in the world. You can be the change that you would like to see and set a great example for others how they can be the change and inspire others to make a positive change in their world. And by providing fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life, we truly can coexist, whether it's here on a Sunday morning service, Monday through Friday on morning prayer, or when there's music on Wednesday nights, or different book studies, classes. We're all working together to learn more about ourselves and our divinity. And we truly believe that at Unity, we believe that we can all coexist in peace and in harmony. And we'll have a nice song.
Here I am, here and now, in this moment. Here I am in the place I am meant to be. Nothing can hurt me, nothing can shake me. I am free, I am home. moment. Here I am in the place I am meant to be. Nothing can hurt me, nothing can shake me. I am free, I am home. Here I am, here and now, in this moment. Here I am, in the place I am meant to be. Nothing can hurt me, nothing can shake me. I am free, I am home. Here I am, here and now, in this moment. Here I am, in the place I am meant to be. Nothing can hurt me, nothing can shake me. I am free, I am home. Here I am, here and now, in this moment. Here I am, in the place I am meant to be. Nothing can hurt me, nothing can shake me. I am free, I am home. I am free, I am home. I am free, I am home.
What a wonderful song. And now we come to time where we talk about prayer. For anyone that's new to Unity of London or new to Unity, Unity was founded over 130 years ago based on affirmative prayer. So prayer is at the foundation of everything that we do at Unity. And anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY and you'll reach Silent Unity, where there is always a group of divine beings waiting to pray with you or with someone else that you know that might be looking or in need of prayer. Let other people know that 1-800-NOW-PRAY is available for anyone. And if you're in the sanctuary at 501 Nelson Street, you'll see that we have a prayer box at the front of the sanctuary, and you can put your prayer request. And all it requires really is a name of a person or persons that you're wishing prayer for, and they put it in the prayer box, and those people will be prayed over for 30 days at least at Unity of London, and then sent on to also Unity Worldwide for additional prayer. And prayer with the chaplain. So today online, you can, if you would like individual one-on-one prayer, Wilda is available to pray with you. Just put a note in the chat room and Lorraine will put you and Wilda in a private room for prayer at the end of the service. Or if you're looking for live prayer, well, I guess live prayer it's live prayer on Zoom as well, but in person at our building at 501 Nelson Street in London, Ontario, Pauline's available to offer prayer for anyone that would like individual one-on-one prayer. And now we will go into prayer. So I invite you to join me. And you may choose to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. But most importantly, just settle into your seat. Have a couple of nice, deep, cleansing breaths. And as you're exhaling, let go of all of the busyness that was going on this morning. For me, letting go of the technical difficulties I've been having and relaxing and knowing that all is well. And just be here in the moment with all of us. Today in our prayer circle, we hold Unity of London in our prayers and Unity of New Westminster, as do all the unities in Canada, hold Unity of London and New Westminster in prayer this month. We hold all our members and our friends and our families in prayer. We hold all of the people that are fretting over the upcoming election in our prayers, reminding us all that wherever we are, God is, and within and amongst everything, God is. And as we read our principles, and we reminded ourselves that God is good. So whatever the outcome might be, we must let it go and know that the all-knowing divine mind knows what's best for everyone, that everything's always unfolding for us. Life is always working out for us. Sometimes in moments we catch ourselves that, oh, what if it doesn't work out? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if? The one thing we can be sure of is that God is, we are, and all is well. And so we look forward to a great service and a great week ahead of us, knowing that we have the ability to hold peace and love in our hearts. And that is the most important thing. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And I welcome up Don Brigalow to come up. I believe it's Don that's coming and going to read our daily word for today.
Good morning, all. Today's daily word is entitled Freedom. Spiritual living is my path to freedom. Looking back over the years, I remember the ways I've felt less than free. Maybe I felt limited because of my background or personal history, my education or career, or because of things others believed about me. Without even realizing, I may have taken on a limited view of myself and what is possible for my life. But discovering the truth of myself as a spiritual being, a beloved child of God, has healed my heart and freed my soul. My life circumstances are only part of my story. I am so much more than the sum total of my experiences. My freedom lies in God and in my understanding of myself as divine. As I grow in confidence, realizing I can change my life through the power of my thoughts, I grow more free. I shall walk at liberty, for I have sought your precepts. So it says in Psalm 119, verse 45. Let me talk to you about who our speaker is today. Wendy joined Unity in 1984 and received her licensed Unity teacher status in 2000. Wendy has been a facilitator of Unity's courses for over 20 years and has been honored to be made an adjunct faculty at Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute for the spring of 2025, that term. She co-hosts online spirit groups, which explores what's so good about the good book, bringing her extensive Bible knowledge to the discussion. Wendy's Sunday lesson brings an eclectic mix of Unity knowledge, scriptural references, and life experiences. We are honored to have her with us today. With her message, A New Path, join me in welcoming our dear friend, Wendy Karr.
Thank Okay, quietly. Good morning, everybody. It's wonderful to be here. Oh, it helps if I unzip this so I can get at my papers. What a concept. So I hope you all had a happy Easter. Anyone else celebrating National Egg Salad Sandwich Week this week? Yeah, yeah, it is. Anyway, so Easter's over. Our gardens are starting to come back. I noticed that there's considerably less parking at my local grocery store as they prepare the garden center. And they were quite keen to note that the drive-through soil pickup was ready for service. The plants aren't coming until a little bit later, which is a good thing because we have had a few cold nights. And nothing worse, in my opinion, at least as far as gardening is concerned, than buying all those plants and then having a frost. And you watch as they, and you say, oh my. So what now? What's our new path? We've just finished the whole season of Lent and the whole of Holy Week and all of Easter and all that that entails. And I won't go through the story again because I am confident you have had it described to you very well in the last few weeks. So the question though is, and we even see the disciples asking this, like, what do we do now? What do we do now? Jesus is resurrected, but what are we going to do? What's ours to do? And I always feel that after Easter, I think because, and it was a little less this year, for the first time in I don't know how many years, I did not do a single service during Holy Week. There was a time when I would do Palm Sunday, I would do a communion on Thursday, I would do a service on Friday, I would do Easter, and then I would sleep for a couple days. But I didn't do any of that this year, and I really had to stop and say, okay, where is my path? It's feeling, now maybe it's just me, maybe it's just me, but it's feeling like the world is kind of shifting right now, and it's feeling like tomorrow is going to be another shift, and I don't know in which direction, not up to me. I have, however, voted already. I have done my civic duty, so if I complain later, I have the right to complain because I voted. And that's not a spiritual thought, that's a very human thought, and I own it. But one of the first tasks for me as we get into, Easter's coming, it's like there's a little part of me that goes, oh yeah, I need to change my tires. Now, you might say, how is that a spiritual? It's a spiritual process because those tires and those rims cost me a lot of money. And I want to be a good steward of those tires. And that, to me, is a very spiritual practice. That is a core belief and a core practice and principle of prosperity. If you're not taking care of what you have, then how can you expect to receive more? So I did it. Now, we all laughed because the dealership I go to that I trust my car with, they're really good to me. So they know that if I'm getting service, that they need to make sure that the chair in the waiting room that's closest to the outlet is available. Because even if it's 4 or 5 hours, with the traffic in the Burlington, Hamilton, Toronto area, it makes more sense for me just to plop myself down because invariably by the time the shuttle gets me home, it's time for me to come back. So I just said, screw it. I'm just gonna bring work, I'll bring my computer, I will get some work done. I have actually done Zoom calls in that waiting room. Now, I want you to picture though, the waiting room has no outside windows. There's a glass display case for their trophies of, best dealership. But that only goes as far as the hallway. It does not go to the outside. So I come out after a few hours waiting for my car and my new tires and nicely torqued and realigned and all those good things. And it's flippin' snowing like this. Like not nice, gentle flakes. We're talking like this. And there's already this much of it on the ground and my snow tires are off. And I paused and I said, what the fluff is that? And my service advisor started laughing. She said, "You were hooked to your computer that whole time, weren't you?" Guilty as charged. And I had to do some serious prayer work, because as I'm coming out of the dealership, I'm braking carefully and I'm feeling the car slide into the road. So it was a spiritual principle of, I know how to drive with regular tires on in these weather conditions. A very spiritual reminder for me. So that's one of the things we do. We take care of our cars. So while I had it in to get my tires changed, I said, well, I just turned over 96,000. I guess you might as well do whatever voodoo you do to my car at 96,000 K, to make sure that it's running properly. And so they did. And I was so grateful, because that rattle that was coming from, it sounded like it was coming from behind my glove compartment, stopped. And it turned out that the fan that's right butts up there was a little off kilter, and they tightened a screw and it's nice and quiet. So what about cars and spirituality? Aside from our prosperity of, many of us own our car, some of us are making payments on a car. My dad just got a new lease car for the next 4 years. It's been an interesting experience. Breathing through, none of the controls are where they were in the last car. Discovering, though, as I was working with my dad through how to do this and that and setting all his presets, he's got 36 flippin' presets in his car for his radio. I only have 18. Oh, well, I guess I might have to upgrade at some point. But it was a spiritual principle of being calm in the midst of this chaos, knowing that we had the divine mind within us, because there's no physical owner's manual anymore. You go online and you can't even download it. You have to search it online, or they put it into the computer of the car and you can search it on the screen. Well, that doesn't work for my dad's learning style. It's fine, but it's about, adapting and being willing to know that this is a new path for him. Now that he's had it a couple weeks and we've figured out how to get it to talk to his phone and how he's gotten it to change the channel on the radio when a song comes on he doesn't like, he's very calm. And he's starting to enjoy it. He's starting to get into that space. So, continuing this, physical tools. I'm sure Pauline can tell us that Dan does this frequently. Physical tools need cleaning. They might need oiling. They might need sharpening. Eventually, they might need replacing. I remember recently I was going through on Facebook, and there was I loved it. Wish I'd put it in the thing. So picture, if you will, a whole bunch of garden tools, like trowels and sickles and clippers and all of the hand tools that you would need, saws of various, and it described which muscle group you would be working while using those tools, and how you really didn't need to buy that equipment, because you just go out to your garden and use this particular tool and you're covered. So perhaps we've discovered that we need a tool. I remember having to go out one time, I forget what Bill was doing, but he was missing a particular tool, and he sent me to Lee Valley with the list of what he needed, and I brought it home, and he got done what needed to be done. Maybe we had been dropping hints that we wanted something for Christmas, whether it was a new toolbox. I opened up his toolbox the other day. For those of you who don't know, my husband passed a number of years ago now. I opened up the toolbox that has all the sockets, and the foam in it has deteriorated. And so one of my projects for a rainy day will be to take each and every one of those out and clean it, and make sure that there's no fluffies up in the socket, because it won't work if there's fluffies up in that socket. But maybe we got some new tools for Christmas. And, it hasn't been the right weather to use them yet. Or a new toolbox or whatever. So how do we compare that to our spiritual path? Well, it's time to take a spiritual inventory. Now, what do I mean by a spiritual inventory? That's where we kind of take a breath, find yourself a quiet spot. Maybe you want to journal. I'm not a particularly journaling person. That doesn't appeal to me. I do it, but not as regularly as I might, because it's not a tool that really works for me. So get yourself comfortable. And this is something you don't have to close your eyes for. You can do it open-eyed. You can do it with your coffee, tea, chai, whatever. But just take a look at aspects that make up your human self. You're saying, but wait a minute, Wendy, I thought you said we're taking a spiritual inventory. Yes, but we need to take the human inventory first. Where are our relationships at? What's our employment looking like? What are our finances up to? What is our self-care? What is our health and well-being up to? And then look at our spiritual practices. So like this building, because I understand you guys had a good cleaning party, spiritual practices can use a regular cleaning. Are there any practices or tools that you haven't used in a while that might need to be dusted off? I needed to dust off my journal because I had a situation and I knew that my best practice was to do some journaling. It's not something I do every day. I was trying to explain it to somebody and she said, oh, you mean like a pensive in Harry Potter? And if you don't know what that is, Dumbledore takes his wand and he puts it up towards his head, and this strand comes out of light, and he puts it into a bottle. So he can look at it later, but it doesn't have to crowd his brain. That's something I would love to have. Now, no blame or shame or guilt. Please don't hear that. But I can think of a number of spiritual practices that while I was in a workshop and immediately afterwards, I got real excited about, but they didn't stay as a regular practice. They've fallen by the wayside. And there's a few of them I'm actually looking at again because there's stuff happening in the world, and I haven't needed to address some of these things. I was speaking with a fellow Unity person who I have known since probably when I came into Unity or shortly thereafter, so the mid-'80s. And she said to me, do you remember? You remember we had that tape of a world healing meditation that we listened to and listened to and listened to? I said, yeah, this is not what I was expecting. And she said, I know. She lives in the States, so she is dealing with that. I don't even have words for it. I just don't. But it's that time to say, okay, what does my human self need from my spiritual self to be supported, to stay calm and collected? Oh, anybody else lose all their Unity teachings for a split second or even an hour or a while when it was announced that Trump got elected? Like, I was freaking out. I have family and friends in the States, so I was concerned. I had to breathe through that and get myself recentered. Do some letting go, which is, of course, our next. It's about release and forgive. Not an easy thing. And one of the things I've noticed, and this might be a trigger alert, so I will just say that, and so you can take your deep breath. One of the things I've noticed in Unity is that there's sometimes, and of course I know nobody here, nobody, but we want to bypass that unpleasant stuff. I am guilty of it, so I will lay it on the line. After my husband died, I texted the class I was supposed to start teaching. I said, we're deferring a week because I've got to process. I started teaching 10 days after he died. Was that a good choice? Probably not, because I don't remember what I taught. I know it was a Bible class, not surprisingly. But later, when I had finished that obligation or that perceived obligation, I was a bit of a mess afterwards because I hadn't taken the time to go through that release work and things that I needed to forgive him for, like the doctor said you had this much time. What the heck were you doing dying so quickly? But this is probably my biggest tool in my toolbox, is release and forgiveness. And what I would compare it to, I actually brought it with me. This is called Harry's tool. And a friend of Bill's made this, and he didn't get the patent on it. So I don't know what happened. But as you can see, it's a pair of pliers. And there's a hammer, and it does work. I've used it. And on this end are 2 screwdrivers. And this, to me, is symbolic of what release and forgiveness is. Because I can do a whole lot of things with this. I can't do everything. But I can get a lot of big things done. And this tool is so important. It stays in the kitchen. It does not go downstairs into the workshop. And if somebody else takes it downstairs, oh, well, it's a tool. No, this stays in the kitchen where I can find it and immediately use it when needed. So you may, if you've been in Unity a while or you have read things, you may have heard the term denial. And that used to be our term. I personally am using release because to me denial is such a loaded word, but it means the same thing. We're releasing the seeming power a person, situation, or circumstances has had over us. Whether it's a belief that we've had that the economy will dictate who we are and what we are, whether it is a family norm or a societal norm that we have bought into, willingly or unknowingly. So I chose this picture because this reminds me of that. It reminds me of the releasing of the excess water, which we can take as the physical aspect that we don't want anymore, and allowing it to enhance, because my dad maintains, and who might argue with my dad, that the freshly hung laundry of his childhood will always smell better than the dried laundry of his adulthood. But we consciously release the human beliefs that no longer serve and choose instead to focus our attention on our spiritual awareness of our own divinity. So there are many techniques for this, and I'm going to provide you with a couple suggestions. And at this point, I'm going to give everybody permission to take their phones out because 2 slides are coming up that you might want to take actually 3 slides are coming up. You might want to take photos of. So the first one is, especially if you're watching online, so where do I find out this stuff? How do I find these spiritual tools? Guess what? Unity of London has a YouTube channel, and these services are uploaded. And if you're not subscribed already, I'm going to invite you to subscribe. I subscribe, and I watch you guys when I'm not here. Because I know well enough to know that I don't know everything. And that I need to learn from other people's experiences. There are experiences people have had that, by the grace of God and some good luck, I have never had to go through. I've had my own challenges instead. So that's suggestion number 1. And I think if you just put it in Unity of London, it'll find it. But the official channel is at Unity of London 3360. Okay, I'm hoping folks have got their picture. Yes? Okay. Now the next one is a shameless, and I admit it's shameless, self-promotion. 2 talks that I did here last September and October, the 29th of September and the 20th of October, when I discussed and we worked through, do you remember the stones and bringing the stones to service? When we went through the Reverend Tutu's Book of Forgiveness. And as I said at that time, and I am repeating now, that probably is my core textbook for forgiveness, because I love how they have developed a way of using our tactile awareness and our spiritual self to find the tools to work through our forgiveness needs. So like getting our gardens ready for new plantings or for the bulbs and other perennials to emerge, it's important to take that time to do the weeding. Perhaps you need to adjust the stones on a pathway, or perhaps you decided that you're tired of walking through the mud and you want a proper pathway, maybe with some nice flagstones or concrete or whatever. But we need to prepare the soil, add nutrients, and if you have an irrigation system, make sure it's functioning at full potential. We too are like the gardens. We need that preparation, big word, to have that new path emerge. Now here's the third slide. I did say 3 slides, folks. I hope you could see it, yes. So if you go to silentunity.org, it'll send you to another page. On that page, at the very bottom, is additional prayer resources. And some of them are prayers, some of them are meditations, some of them are just kind of take a moment and breathe. I remember when I worked in the courthouse, I was at a Unity convention, and the vice president of Silent Unity and I were talking. She said, you know, we've just opened up these new 5-minute meditations. What do you think? And I said to her, I really would appreciate it if you would make a few that were 3 minutes. And she said, 3 minutes? Why 3 minutes? And I said, well, TMI, but 5 minutes is too long to be in the washroom. But 3 minutes, my boss won't care. And she thought about that, and I noticed soon after there were a few shorter ones. And I'm glad to see that they took that in, because I said to her, that is what I do if I need a break at work, is I may not be in the bathroom doing what you do in the bathroom. I may be in there with my headphones listening to as much of that 5-minute meditation and then the 3-minute meditation as I can before somebody starts banging on the door that they need a turn. So what do they have available? Well, if you're on Facebook, look for me, by the way, but they have a daily prayer service at 11 o'clock Central, which is noon our time, which is perfect for me. I can watch it while I'm preparing my lunch. There are uplifting affirmations, which we use when I am here for our meditation. There is a monthly meditation, which is available for download. There is a link to the Unity Virtual Prayer Vigil, which is connected to the actual vigil at Unity Village. And so it is in the best spirit of the Fillmores, enforcing that idea that there is no time or space. And if you have been, as I have been, in that vigil room, it feels like being there. There are monthly prayer services with downloadable PDF and an accompanying MP3, so if you don't have time to read it, you can listen to it. One word of advice, not a good choice for while you're driving. Just saying. It's usually about 7 or 8 minutes, though. There's a link to a video. They have a link to their meditations on YouTube, which are very well done and beautifully done. And then you can sign up for a 2 times a month prayer and inspiration newsletter. So there's lots of opportunities, and that's just what's in Unity. That doesn't include, you know, what is elsewhere in our spiritual home. And I invite you to just, you know, spend a little time exploring. Now, usual disclaimer, It's a rabbit hole. The extent to which you go down the rabbit hole, the extent to which you go, wait a minute, where have I been the last 2 hours? I am not personally responsible for. If you are a person who goes down rabbit holes easily, I invite you to put a timer on so that you know when it's time to come back. But as we move forward into this new season after Easter, I invite you to consider exploring your own spiritual practices. Perhaps you can find something new to try. Or if you're comfortable with what you are, and that's fine, consider adding a couple minutes to your practice right now. Or start doing it morning and evening. Or if you are already doing it morning and evening, consider adding 5 minutes at lunchtime. Whatever works for you. And with that, let us see our affirmations for the month of April. This is a photo I took of the barn on Unity property. And they are now selling organic food that we've gone full circle, and it's a garden again. So I'll just invite you to get comfortable. If you want to keep your eyes open while we do the affirmations, that's perfectly fine. If you prefer, just close your eyes and just allow my voice to be your voice, that's perfectly fine too. So our affirmation for April, for inner peace. I allow peace to permeate my being. And let's just breathe that in together. And together, I allow peace to permeate my being. For wisdom, I allow wisdom to reign in my mind. And together, I allow wisdom to reign in my mind. For life, I allow life to flow in my body. Together, I allow life to flow in my body. For prosperity, I allow abundance to be my experience. And together, I allow abundance to be my experience. And finally, for order, I allow order in my thoughts. And together, I allow order in my thoughts. And let us just take a moment, breathing in all of these affirmations. And as Sylvia already reminded us, surrounding the election tomorrow in light and love, trusting in the best possible outcome for all. For well-being, for safety, for prosperity, for the future generations. And we give thanks. And so it is, and it is so. Amen.
Well, thank you so much, Wendy, for once again a wonderful talk, well thought out, simple to understand, and some great tools to use for this time of after the Easter season, for truly being reborn and looking to have a whole different way of life, or a slightly different way of life, but making a positive difference as we change our thoughts and our beliefs to be more aligned with our divinity. So thank you once again. And I believe we're going to have another song.
Standing at the edge of a life I know, afraid to step forward, can't see what's below. I've come so far to the top of this hill, don't wanna go backward, I refuse to stand still. Faith is knowing I've gotta keep going when life isn't flowing and I don't know why. Wanna keep growing, can't just sit here and cry. Taking the leap, I'm gonna learn how to fly. Thought life was a lesson, like being in school, where I would be safe if I played by the rules. In the blink of an eye, the whole world can change. Till nothing's familiar, no sure thing remains. Faith is knowing I've gotta keep going when life isn't flowing and I don't know why. Wanna keep growing, can't just sit here and cry. Taking the leap, I'm gonna learn how to fly. I'm through playing small, I want so much more. No fear at all, I'm ready to soar. Faith is knowing I've gotta keep going when life isn't flowing and I don't know why. Wanna keep growing, can't just sit here and cry. Taking the leap, I'm gonna learn how to fly. Faith is knowing I've gotta keep going when life isn't flowing and I don't know why. Wanna keep growing, can't just sit here and cry. Taking the leap, I'm gonna learn how to fly. Taking the leap, gonna learn how to fly. Taking the leap, I'm gonna learn how to fly.
What a great song. So here we are at that time where we first of all take time to thank everyone that has shared their time and their talents through the week, whether it's going in to tidy things up at the building, things that you do during the week, picking up the mail, picking things up, getting things, cleaning, doing whatever. And congratulations on having a successful, it sounds like you had a successful cleanup day. But also we always want to thank everyone also for sharing their treasures. The time and talent is certainly very important to make a Sunday work for us, but all the nothing can happen if we don't pay our bills. So you can always make your offering by check, MasterCard or Visa or debit. If you're in the building, you can use the Tidely site, or you can simply e-transfer money to unityoflondon@hotmail.com. And please put a note in when you're sending an e-transfer, just like if you're using the machine, MasterCard, Visa, or debit, put a note on your little receipt from the machine, what it was for, whether it was your gift or your tithe, or you're buying a book or a daily word. And when you're emailing money, let Hilda know what that's for, whether it's your, again, gift, your tithe, maybe it was for a class. But we appreciate everything that everyone shares every single week, that we can keep on going and keep on trucking and keep on growing. So I can't see what's happening in the sanctuary at this time. I'm going to trust that the people have picked up the money and will now do a prosperity blessing. So I invite you to join me. That divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And now our announcements for this week. Here's what's happening. Da, 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 da. Prayer chaplain training is completed. Well, it never really ends, but we have 4 new prayer chaplains. That's very, very exciting. So congratulations to Kate, Nancy, Lindsay, and Lorraine for completing their training, doing their homework. And we packed a lot in, and a big thank you to Pauline for her leadership, for helping us to make sure this happens and continuing on while Wilda and I popped in here and there from a little bit. I was there and a little bit, I didn't do any while I was, since I've left, but it's so exciting to see more people stepping up and learning about prayer and learning about praying with others, whether they choose to pray with people on a regular basis at Unity. But if we move to the next slide, I believe, I don't know if this is when Pauline's coming up or it's the next slide, but again, I can't see what's happening in the sanctuary, so.
And just so you know, all of our new prayer chaplains were so involved in our 4 sessions of prayer chaplain training, and they will be available to pray with you anytime you choose within reason. So if you want to pray with any of them, even today, although I'm the prayer chaplain in the prayer room, Lindsay, Dawn, Kate, and Lorraine will be circulating, and they all will benefit from prayer practice. They brought their hearts, their energy, and all of their intuitive senses to our prayer training. And it was really a wondrous experience for all of us. And so I invite you again just to applaud our new prayer chaplains.
Okay, thank you so much, Pauline. And with that, the ladies decided to do a bit of a prayer challenge. So because the new prayer chaplains are looking for practice, each person would like to pray at least once per month with someone. And we'd like to have you help them to help you. So we invite you, as Pauline was saying, that whether it's today, next Sunday, but certainly over the next month, when you come to Unity before service or after service, that you ask one of the new prayer chaplains to pray with you, either in the prayer room or in the sanctuary, and give them an opportunity to share their new talents and understanding, and help them to help you, because prayer never hurts. It always helps. And we know that with prayer, everything is possible. And even if your life is wonderful and there's nothing that you're looking for, that feel like you're in a need, you can celebrate all the great things and be grateful and pray a prayer of gratitude for all the wonderful things and the way that you are blessed in your life. So please take an opportunity to talk to one of the ladies, if not all four, over the next month, and have them provide a prayer for you. You'll be blessed, truly. And the new daily words are in, but there's only 2 left. So they're only $10. You can pick them up at one of them up at the bookstore with either cash or use the machine. And again, just make sure you make note what your $10 is for. And tips are accepted. So, but if you're looking to have a new daily word, you better grab one right after the service, because they're going to be gone, I'm sure, today. And a reminder again, the 2025 condo lottery is on. The draw is May the 11th, and this week, April ends. So we really only have a couple of weeks left. And we still have, I think we've got about half of the tickets sold. So either pick up some tickets, send out some text messages or emails, everybody pitch in and see if you can sell a couple of more tickets this week and next week. It's a great opportunity. There's only 400 tickets, and to get $500 cash and to be able to spend a week in a lovely condo on the river in Grand Bend is a great prize. And of course, the money is a great cause. It's mostly for our music program. It also helps to pay for speakers. And it truly makes a big difference. This is one of our biggest fundraisers through each year. So hopefully everybody can pitch in a little bit more this week and sell some more tickets. And starting May 4th, so next Sunday, I believe Chuck has started this. I know I heard him talking about it before, but a sacred circle every Sunday following the service from 12 to 1. And it's about discussing and asking questions, whether it's having to do with the Sunday service message, some other spiritual matters, or to have an open forum that everyone can have a discussion of what they're understanding, maybe what they're not quite understanding, that we can share. And it's more about spiritual transformation, and that is done through sharing our spiritual enlightenment. And what is said in the circle stays in the circle. So that's a great new service that we're providing, and I hope lots of people can go and try that out, and I'm sure it'll be of great value to many people. And as always, Wednesday nights, Jim's got some music lined up. So this week on Wednesday, April the 30th, Ronnie D. West, Sam Hornby, and John Bellone, and Chet Reiser. And of course, as always, it's only $10. You can pay at the cash at the door. You can e-transfer. Jim Chapman at Rogers.com, I believe it is. But if you're looking for some fun, some excitement, to be uplifted in the middle of the week on Wednesday night, go to 501 Nelson Street in London and do a little singing, a little dancing, and have some fun. And now we'll do our prayer for protection, and I invite everyone to affirm with me that the light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. And the presence of God watches over me. I am the presence.
Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yay, God. And we'll gather around for our peace song. Just water. Oh, another fine service. Do we have anyone online that would like to share anything? Anyone in the sanctuary?